Howdy folks, it's Dr. Lane back again with another video for our Peaks Challenge 2021 edition. Now this video is going to be all about the training programs. They are due to commence on the 16th of November, so a couple of weeks away. If you haven't seen them already, they're up on the Bicycle Network website under Events and Training. You can download them there as a PDF version, or if you're more inclined to have them in Training Peaks, you can find them in the Training Peaks web store. I will link to both of those in the description box below so you can find them nice and easily. So there's three versions of the programs available. There's the low, the intermediate and the high volume program. They're really all based around how many hours you've got available to be able to ride your bike during the week. For someone who is in the realm of sort of 10 to 12 hours at the most, then probably the low volume program. Someone who's 12 to 15 hours, probably the intermediate program. And then the high volume programs, probably 15 to 20 hours. Now look, the main thing to remember with the programs is they're just a guide. They're there for you to break this big 16-week block down into essentially 4 training blocks. You've got your first block, which is sort of your base aerobic block that everyone talks about, the base block. The second block we start to build in a little bit more tempo intensity. The next block we do some FTP work to try and get you going a bit faster. And then the last block is all about incorporating all of those things into some big long rides and pushing out your endurance and getting your confidence up that you can get around the course in the right time without the legs failing on you at the end of it. And it's a chance to get all your nutrition and stuff like that right as well. So the main thing I get asked about these programs is probably a few main questions. The first thing would be, do I need a power meter? Do I need heart rate? And I guess my answer to that is yes, it helps. But secondly, no, you don't need those. I think if you look at each training session, I put a pretty good description in there about what you're trying to do and how that relates to a power zone, a heart rate zone, or even just how it should feel. And if you can wrap your head around the training zones, they're all written into the PDFs and they're within Training Peaks. As in zone 1's nice and easy, zone 5's pretty hard. There's really not much within these big endurance type events where we really need to focus on lots of VO2 max work and things like that. It's really more about pushing out your endurance so you can ride for a long period of time and ride just under threshold, so a sub-threshold effort for a long period of time up the hills. And of course there's a very important factor, which is strength, because no matter how many gears you've got on your bike, being stronger, being able to push a bigger gear and things like that up the steep hills really does delay fatigue in the legs. So in short, anyone can use these training programs as a guide to get them through. If you're just out on the weekend and you're just going for a ride and there's no major structure, if that's what you like to do, then maybe just have a look at the program and see, oh yeah, I can see we're about here now on going on the dates of the weekly blocks and go, oh yeah, if I was following the program, I should be doing some strength efforts. So maybe incorporate that into whatever you were going to be doing. You don't have to do every single session in the program. It's just there as a guide. There'll be some people who will follow it to a T. There's others that will take the key sessions on the weekends and do those sessions. Another question I get regularly asked is, can I move the sessions around? And yes, 100% you can. There's a lot of factors that come into play when you're trying to make your week work out well. You might have family commitments, work commitments, there might be some bunch rides, it might be the weather. A good athlete will look at the start of the week and figure out what their weekly schedule is and then try and manipulate the training program so they can get it done the best they possibly can given their time requirements. So the programs aren't a mathematical model, it's a bit of an art, and look, it's super hard for me to be able to make a one-size-fit-all program for everybody without knowing everyone's time commitments. Another question I get is, there's lots of intervals within the program and it says ride up a hill, do a repeat, come back down again, do it again. So it might be 4 by 20 minute hill strength efforts. A lot of people don't like going up and down a hill, they just like riding a big loop, and that's what Three Peaks is. It's a big loop of a course with multiple climbs in it. If you've got a course that has lots of climbing and you can go do a big long course and try and integrate those efforts into your big loop of a ride, then that's perfectly fine as well. So to wrap up, I guess the main things with this training program, there's a few main points to take into account. The first one is know where you are fitness-wise at the beginning. So if you start the intermediate program and it says do 10 hours this week, but you've already been riding a fair bit and you've been doing 15 hours a week, find that starting point that suits you and start there, and then try and add a bit of extra hours or volume to the subsequent weeks of the training program. The goal for it should be for you to ride as much as you possibly can each week. Generally, the more you're doing, the fitter you are, the faster you're going to go. It is a pretty good relationship between those two things. So my big point in that would be maximize or optimize how much you can ride each week. If you can get in more, 100% get in more, even if it's a little bit more than what the program has for that week. And it really is about finding that balance between doing a long ride, coming home pretty tired, and then having a bit of a rest, and then letting the body recover, and then doing a little bit more next time. And you do that for 16 weeks, you push it out and out and out and out, and hopefully that point of the body getting tired is now at about your target duration for the event, and it's about 235 Ks with lots of climbing. So you want to cross that finish line and go, I didn't really have much left. Another key point is plan ahead. Keep in mind when there's public holidays, I don't really account for those in the training program. It's just something that you've got to take into account yourself. So we've got the Christmas period, there's public holidays like Australia Day, there's Melbourne Cup Day possibly. There's things like that where you can sneak in a little bit more training. So 100% look ahead, try and optimize the amount of riding you're doing based around that extra free time you may have. Okay folks, I think that's about it for this video. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, there's going to be some Facebook Live question times going on in the next few weeks, and there'll be more videos like this one coming up. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment on this video and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you.